The morning sun cast its soft glow over the bustling city of Charleston. In her cozy apartment, Olivia Harris stirred as the alarm on her bedside table buzzed at 6:30 a.m. She stretched, the routine of her life settling in as predictably as the sunrise. Olivia, a federal prosecutor in her mid-30s, was known for her fierce intelligence and unyielding sense of justice. Her work often demanded long hours, but today was supposed to be a reprieve. Just a simple matter at the municipal court. As Olivia went about her morning, her small apartment reflected her orderly nature. Case files were meticulously arranged on her desk, her court attire hung ready in the closet, and her kitchen counter held her morning essentials, a cup of black coffee and a granola bar. Today, she chose a modest outfit, a navy blazer, white blouse, and tailored black slacks. A far cry from her usual courtroom power suits, but enough to make her look professional for what she assumed would be a quick in-and-out case. Her task for the morning was mundane, a parking ticket dispute. The ticket had been issued in an area with poorly marked signage, and Olivia had taken clear photos to prove her case. She felt confident the judge would understand and dismiss it. After all, she was well versed in presenting compelling evidence. At 8 a.m., Olivia slid into her recently purchased Lexus, a well-deserved reward for her victory in a high-profile corruption case. The car gleamed in the morning light as she navigated through the city's rush-hour traffic. NPR played softly on the radio, a soothing backdrop to her mental preparation for the court visit. As she reached for her travel mug, her phone buzzed. The caller ID displayed Mark Reed, her boss. Mark's tone was brisk. "Olivia, we've got a situation. The defense just filed a motion in the Martin trafficking case, and it's urgent. Can you review it and give me a summary?" The Martin case was a significant human trafficking prosecution, one that Olivia had poured months of work into. Despite the inconvenience, she replied, "Of course, send me the details." Pulling into a nearby cafe parking lot, Olivia opened her laptop and tethered it to her phone's hotspot. The defense's arguments were convoluted, but she worked quickly, her fingers flying over the keyboard as she crafted a detailed analysis. Time slipped away unnoticed, and when she finally glanced at her watch, it was 8:50 a.m. She cursed under her breath. Court started at 9, and she was still 10 minutes away. Olivia arrived at the municipal courthouse at 9:10 a.m., parking hastily and rushing up the stone steps with her case file in hand. She tried to steady her breathing as she entered the building, the chaotic morning weighing on her. The courtroom was already in session. Inside, the atmosphere was formal and slightly tense. Rows of wooden benches were filled with people waiting for their cases to be called. Judge Thomas Barrett presided over the proceedings, his reputation preceding him as both no-nonsense and, according to whispers, prone to bias. The bailiff, an older man named James Whitaker, gave Olivia a sympathetic glance as she quietly entered. He had seen this scene play out many times. A late arrival often met with the judge's ire. Still, Olivia carried herself with composure, her heels clicking confidently on the polished floor as she approached the podium. Judge Barrett looked up, his stern features darkening as he noticed her. "Miss Harris, you were scheduled for 9 a.m. Do you believe your time is more valuable than this court's?" Olivia opened her mouth to explain, but the judge cut her off. His voice grew louder, the reprimand drawing the attention of everyone in the room. "This is a court of law, not a convenience store. Your tardiness is disrespectful." The judge didn't even glance at her neatly organized documentation. It was clear his disdain was based on something more personal. Olivia felt the weight of the room's stares, her professionalism the only keeping her frustration at bay. "Your Honor, if I may explain," she began, but he interrupted again, his tone sharp. "You'll have your chance after this court issues a fine. Perhaps $500 will remind you to respect the rules." Olivia's composure didn't falter, though anger simmered beneath the surface. She had faced prejudice before, but this was different. A public display of authority being wielded unfairly. She quietly handed her documentation to the bailiff, knowing it wouldn't make a difference. The judge had already made up his mind. As the judge continued, his words tinged with condescension, Olivia's mind raced. She thought of the many cases she had prosecuted, the lives she had worked to protect, and the ideals of justice she upheld daily. This moment was a stark reminder of the systemic inequities she fought against. When the judge finally leaned back, satisfied with his reprimand, Olivia did something unexpected. She took a deliberate step forward and addressed the court. "Your Honor, before this proceeding goes further, I believe an introduction is in order," she said, her voice calm but commanding. She reached into her bag and pulled out her federal badge, holding it up for the room to see. "I am Olivia Harris, Assistant United States Attorney for the Eastern District. I am here as a private citizen today, but my duty to uphold justice remains." The room fell silent. Judge Barrett's face paled as realization dawned. Olivia continued, her tone unwavering. "The fine will not teach me respect for the court, Your Honor, but this experience has revealed something far more concerning. Bias, whether conscious or unconscious, has no place in our judicial system." Judge Barrett stammered, his authority suddenly questioned in a way he wasn't accustomed to. Olivia seized the moment, calmly recounting the disparities she had observed during her brief time in the courtroom. "In just the past half hour, I've witnessed patterns of unequal treatment," Olivia said. "Defendants who appear affluent are met with leniency, while others face disproportionate penalties. Justice is meant to be blind, yet it seems influenced by appearance and status." The clerk, Mrs. Thompson, paused her typing, her fingers hovering over the keys as she listened intently. James, the bailiff, shifted uncomfortably, his years of witnessing similar incidents flashing in his mind. Olivia's words carried weight, her professional demeanor lending her accusations credibility. "I intend to file a formal report on these observations," she concluded. "I trust this court will take the necessary steps to address these concerns." The judge, clearly flustered, tried to regain control. "Miss Harris, these are serious allegations." "They are," Olivia replied firmly, "and I have the evidence to support them." The tension in the courtroom was palpable as Olivia's statement reverberated through the room. Defendants and their families whispered among themselves, emboldened by her courage. Some pulled out their phones to document the moment, despite the rules against recording. As proceedings continued, news of the incident began to spread. By the afternoon, local attorneys were discussing it, and whispers reached reporters eager for a story. Olivia, meanwhile, returned to her office, her mind still processing the morning's events. Her phone buzzed incessantly, colleagues offering support, friends sharing similar experiences, and journalists requesting interviews. The parking ticket had become a catalyst for a larger conversation about judicial bias. By the next morning, the events at the municipal courthouse had gone viral. News outlets picked up the story, with headlines such as "Federal Prosecutor Challenges Bias Judge" and "Justice on Trial, Olivia Harris Speaks Out." Social media was abuzz with hashtags like "Justice for All" and "Equal Courts." In her office, Olivia tried to focus on her cases, but the constant stream of calls and emails made it impossible. Mark Reed, her boss, called her into his office. "Olivia," he said, gesturing for her to sit, "you've stirred up quite the hornet's nest." Olivia leaned forward, her voice steady. "I didn't plan for this to become a spectacle, but I couldn't stand by and let bias go unchecked. Not in my own case, not in anyone's." Mark nodded, his expression serious. "I support you, and so does the department, but the media attention could complicate our ongoing cases. The Martin trafficking case, for example, is under intense scrutiny. We need to be strategic." "I understand," Olivia replied, "but if we let this moment pass, we're complicit. I'm not afraid of the backlash." Mark gave her a small smile. "That's why you're one of the best. Just be prepared. Judge Barrett isn't going to let this go without a fight." As predicted, Judge Barrett wasn't taking the situation lightly. By midweek, his attorney released a statement to the press, accusing Olivia of grandstanding and undermining the judicial process. He claimed her allegations were baseless and hinted at taking legal action against her for defamation. The statement only fueled public interest. Advocacy groups rallied behind Olivia, sharing stories of others who had faced similar treatment in Judge Barrett's courtroom. A former clerk anonymously provided documents highlighting a pattern of unequal sentencing in his cases. Olivia remained composed in public, but spent long hours gathering evidence. She contacted local attorneys, civil rights groups, and even defendants who had appeared before Barrett. What she uncovered was staggering: a decade-long history of sentencing disparities based on race, socioeconomic status, and personal bias. Her team prepared a detailed report, which she submitted to the state's Judicial Oversight Committee. The report included data, testimonies, and video evidence from courtroom observers. The Judicial Oversight Committee launched a formal investigation into Judge Barrett's conduct. News of the inquiry dominated headlines, and Olivia became a symbol of accountability in the legal system. Despite the mounting pressure, Olivia stayed focused on her work. The Martin trafficking case moved forward, with Olivia presenting a powerful argument against the defense's motion. Her ability to juggle the high-profile case and the fallout from her stand against Barrett earned her respect from colleagues and the public alike. One evening, as Olivia worked late, she received a call from a woman named Carla Ramirez. Carla had been sentenced by Barrett years ago for a minor offense. "I was in his courtroom when you spoke up," Carla said, her voice filled with emotion. "I thought no one would ever stand up to him. Thank you." The call reaffirmed Olivia's resolve. This fight wasn't just about her. It was about ensuring justice for everyone who had been wronged. Weeks passed, and the committee's investigation uncovered damning evidence against Judge Barrett. Records showed he had dismissed cases for wealthy defendants while imposing harsh penalties on those without resources. A whistleblower revealed that Barrett had pressured clerks to prioritize cases involving influential figures, ensuring favorable outcomes. As public outrage grew, Barrett faced mounting calls for his resignation. Olivia, meanwhile, continued her work, avoiding the media spotlight. She declined numerous interview requests, stating, "This isn't about me. It's about fairness in the judicial system." The tipping point came during a televised committee hearing. Former defendants, attorneys, and even court staff testified against Barrett, painting a picture of a deeply flawed system. The committee recommended his suspension and a full judicial review. Months later, Judge Barrett resigned under pressure. His departure marked a victory for accountability, but Olivia knew the fight for justice was far from over. The incident sparked widespread discussions about judicial reform, leading to new measures to ensure transparency and fairness in court proceedings. For Olivia, life returned to a semblance of normalcy. The Martin case concluded successfully, with the traffickers receiving lengthy sentences. In the aftermath, Olivia reflected on the journey that had brought her to this point. One quiet evening, she received an unexpected letter. It was from James Whitaker, the courthouse bailiff. In his neat handwriting, he thanked her for her courage. "You reminded us all what justice should mean," he wrote. "I'm proud to have witnessed it." Olivia folded the letter and placed it in her desk drawer, a reminder of the impact one voice could have. The fight for justice was ongoing, but she was ready for whatever came next. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end of this incredible story. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed the journey, please don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and thought-provoking stories. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest uploads. Your engagement helps us continue creating content that matters. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next video.